Hey guys, Jason here from Musable Smoke Productions. In today's video, we'll take a look at how to create an organized workflow in Logic. And this will be part 2 of that video series. And we'll be discussing the basics of buses, sends, and auxiliary tracks. All right, so let's dive in here. In our last video, I showed you guys just some basics of how to improve your workflow and keep your project organized in Logic Pro, especially if you are bringing a project over from GarageBand, whether that be from your iPad or iPhone or your desktop or laptop. You can bring your projects in, your GarageBand projects into Logic, and when you do that, you'll see, all of your tracks come through, all of your plugins come through, everything works out great. But when you open up your mixer window here, you can get pretty overwhelmed. At least I did at first. When you see all of your plugins and you see these buses and you're seeing some things appear that maybe you didn't see appear before in your GarageBand projects. Okay, and mostly what we're talking about here is we're talking about the appearance of buses and sends and where those come from, and I'll be showing you how to navigate through that and adjust them and understand what they do. All right, so for now we're going to really quickly simplify this here, and just as a quick recap on our last video, we retitled our tracks. We went through every single track of this project here, and we titled it, we moved things around, we organized it, we created track stacks, which actually do create buses for you. So if we just take a look up here as an example, we've got a folder here that we've titled Electric Guitar, and as I open up that folder, inside of that folder we have our guitar tracks, our raw tracks brought over from our GarageBand project. Okay. And if you click on the raw tracks, all of your plugins are there, right? All of your plugins are there in your channel strip. Of course, you're now seeing buses. So where do these buses come from and what do they do? All right, well, to do that, I'm going to open up my mixer window here, okay? And we're going to concentrate on this thing here. It's called Family Haze. I'm going to solo that up here at the top. And this will be the example that we use to work with today. So where do these buses come from? All right, well, if you're starting out in GarageBand and you're coming over to Logic, one of the things that you're probably somewhat familiar with is the master channel. And the master channel in GarageBand, there's two elements of it. One is echo, the other one is reverb. And I know when I was first starting out with GarageBand and recording my tracks and mixing my projects and everything, I thought it was really cool to play around with that. Echo and reverb are awesome, so it was cool to play around with that, and you can adjust. I think it's on like a 10 scale. You can bring it up, bring it down to bring out or turn down the amount of that effect, right? Well, when you bring a project into Logic from GarageBand, that master channel, it's listed here, but really those parameters, the echo and reverb, are listed here as auxiliary channels. Okay, that's what this is highlighted in yellow here at the bottom, echo and reverb. These act as auxiliary channels. And the only thing happening on these auxiliary channels, as you can see in this echo channel strip, the only plugin is echo. In this reverb channel strip, the only plugin is PT verb, and that's actually short for platinum verb. Okay, and the way that this basically works is on all of your tracks, whether you have echo or reverb applied, if you're bringing your project in from GarageBand, it's going to show you that amount of processing as a send. All right, so how does this work? Let's go ahead and solo this up here. The Family Haze, we're going to take a listen to it. All right, so what we're seeing here, obviously we have our level meter, where it's showing you, the audio level. Okay. Um, and I have my plugins going. And over here I have my sends. Now I know these are active sends because they're blue, and the little dial here, if I click on it, it's showing that it's applying negative 36.6. And over here, if I click on it, it's showing that it's applying negative 3.1. I could turn this down or up. Okay. But what that is doing is it is sending the information from this channel strip, okay, from this track. It is sending the signal over to your auxiliary channel, which has the plugin echo or reverb applied. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do we know which one's which? All right, well, this is really easy to figure out. So we're going to go ahead and just turn off one of them. I'm going to turn off bus 2. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a listen, and we're going to see which one of these meters is displaying signal. Let's take a look and let's take a listen. Here we go. The echo track is active. So we know that bus 1 is echo. Okay. So what we can do, all right, is now that we know that, okay, we're going to go ahead and turn back on bus 2. We're going to verify that bus 2 is our auxiliary reverb channel. Let's check it out. There it is. All right, now the meter's going up a lot more because a lot more of the signal is being pushed to that channel. All right. So what happens if I turn off my buses? Okay, if I turn off my buses, the signal is no longer being sent to the auxiliary channels. Okay, you'll see the meters aren't moving at all. All right, now if you're listening, you still hear a little bit of reverb there. That's because on my actual track, I have applied a plugin, a reverb plugin, Platinum Verb. All right, so I'm going to turn that off. Now there's no reverb at all, just the raw track, right? Okay, so now that we know this, okay, so now that we know that bus 1 and bus 2, again, if we're bringing a project in from GarageBand and we bring it into Logic, it's going to automatically apply the master channel echo and master channel reverb in your new Logic Pro project. All right. And if in my previous GarageBand project, if I applied echo or reverb, master echo, master reverb, it's going to appear here in my sends. This is the amount. I can change the amount right here. Okay. Now, again, let's take a look at some of our other tracks now. Okay. If I look at some of our other tracks, like over here, I've got my guitar 1, guitar 2. I'm seeing that it is busing over information here, okay? Or I have buses that are listed rather, but there's no signal. There's nothing being sent over. Well, this then is a redundant bus. There's no need to have these buses here if you're not going to be sending any of the signal to an echo or reverb auxiliary channel. All right, so what can we do about that? Well, we can go ahead and we can get rid of it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift click, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these sends, because if there's no purpose of having them there, we can get rid of them. Stay organized, right? So I'm just going to click on no send. That's going to get rid of the bus 1. It's going to get rid of the bus 2. Okay, now of course, the echo and reverb auxiliary channels will still be there, but nothing from these tracks were sent over. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to do that for every example of a redundant send. We don't need it, we'll get rid of it. Okay, so looks like there's no reverb or echo on bass here. So we'll get rid of that send. Just click no send. This one here, no send. All right, and let's check out drum set. Okay, so we've got no send here, no send here. Okay, this one is active, so we're going to leave that one alone. Percussion, Okay, so we've got shaker, conga, finger cymbals, nothing on bus 1, so we'll get rid of that. No send. And this one here, nothing's going on bus 2, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, and let's see, claps and cymbal. We will go ahead and get rid of that because there's nothing being sent there. Collapse our track stack. Okay, we've got some accordion stuff going on. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. Nothing on bus 1. No send. On this one, nothing on bus 2. No send. All right, so we're cleaning up our project, improving our workflow, staying organized. Okay, nothing on these vocals here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, and okay, so we've got that one's okay. Check out this one. That one is okay. This one here. Okay, so again, cleaning up our redundant buses by just changing it to no send. All right, so we're probably about done here. Yep, got one more here. No send. No send. All right. So I think that's it. Now, here's something that's really cool. All right, to further understand how these auxiliary channels work and how these buses work, my best advice to you is to just play around with it. All right? You can always go up here to edit, and you can always undo anything that you do. Okay, so if you make a huge mistake, remember, go to the edit tab up here and just click on undo, and then it will no longer be a mistake. It'll be nothing. It'll be in the past, right? All right, so let's just say I want to create a new auxiliary channel. All right, there are a number of ways that you can do this, but this is probably the easiest way I feel. So you go ahead and you go to your sends. All right, in this case, we're sticking with the family Hayes. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this blank send, and it's going to ask me what bus I want to send it to. Well, I don't want to send it to bus 1 because that's my echo. I don't want to send it to bus 2 because that's my reverb. So we're going to create a new bus. We're going to create bus 3. All right. So bus 3 has now been created here. You can see that in my next, right next to it in this channel strip, okay, you can see that I have bus 3 right here as my input, okay, and it's automatically being called auxiliary 12 or auxiliary channel 12. All right, so I'm going to decide what kind of plugin I want to use. Let's just say that I want to, we'll make this, maybe I want to run some parallel compression or something like that, okay? So I'm going to add a compressor into my auxiliary channel, all right? And I want this auxiliary channel to function only as a parallel compressor. So I'm going to title it Parallel Comp. All right. So this way I know what I am doing here. It's also renamed my plugin up here to Parallel Comp. All right. Now, once again, and just to make it easy, we will turn off these other plugins. Okay. I'll turn off my reverb from my channel strip here. All right. So here's just the raw track. All right. Now you'll notice nothing is happening here in my meter for the new auxiliary channel of parallel compressing that I've created because there's no signal being sent to it. All right, so I'm going to turn up the amount of signal here. Now we're starting to see it register on the meter. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. All right. Let's go to my plugin, my compressor plugin that's on the channel strip. We'll see that it's starting to register here. I'm going to give it a little more gain here. See if we can get that meter to move. Let's keep going. It's starting to move now. Starting to move. All right, so we can see it's starting to move here. All right, now this is not a mixing tutorial or a tutorial about compressing or anything like that, but just to show you, I'm going to roll back my threshold here so we can see that the compressor is working. We can probably hear it working. All right. Turn off my auto gain because it's getting kind of loud. Maybe I want to apply some distortion. All right, so we can hear it working. Okay, I can adjust my parameters however I want. And if you're adding an auxiliary channel strip and you're going to be sending signal to it, most times, there's exceptions to this, most times I want to keep my my auxiliary channel, I want to keep it 100% wet. That way I'm sure that none of my original raw track signal is going to make its way into the auxiliary channel beyond the effect that I want applied. Certainly I could change that. I could roll this back here in my compressor to give it a 50% dry, 50% wet signal. And that can be good for certain things. But in this case, that's a video tutorial, a separate video tutorial. We just want to show you how to create a new channel strip, or I'm sorry, a new auxiliary channel, and show how to send it signal using your sends. Okay. In some other videos, I'll show you a little bit more about changing the output. You could play around with that as well. There's groupings. There's all kinds of different features here in your mixer window that we could apply. But for the purpose of this video, I think we've covered it pretty well. So once again, I hope that you found this video helpful to you. You guys can learn a little bit from my trial and error, my mistakes that I've made along the way. Hopefully, again, it's helpful to you, and you guys will be further along in your music production exploration and your music making. Okay, so until next time, happy music making. This is Jason from Musical Smoke Productions. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.